Good thing. Go for landing. Eagle looking great. Houston, the Eagle has landed.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Desk Jockey Fitness. I'm Graham Nolan. I am your host. And today is our usual fun Friday question and answers. And we're going to talk about how to widen that spread, get those broad Boulder shoulders as they're called. Last week we did one late afternoon like this, and it was pretty successful. So I thought seemed like a good time. I had a lot on my plate today. We're going to do a round two and see if it works. If it doesn't, then we'll go back to a different time frame. But see, there's a few people that chime in here. Let's see. Oh, JP Roca is here, and Prater 7. And Dan Genovese is here also. Excellent. You just never know who's going to be free in the afternoon as people are knocking off of work, particularly on a Friday. So we'll give people a few minutes to come in if they're going to, and we'll talk a little bit about how to grow those shoulders. Now, if you guys got any questions, of course, feel free to throw them up there and we'll address them. I didn't get any questions, I don't think, this past week on YouTube, so I don't have anything to go to. But so we'll start with the importance of broad shoulders. I mean, it's one of those things that goes back to primal times. Abs look great in magazines, but they don't mean shit as far as in primal times, as far as attracting a mate. But one thing that did was big shoulders, because even in a silhouette, a woman could see a man on a hill in a silhouette and see that he had broad shoulders, and that meant power, that meant strength, that meant protection. And it seems like there's a lot of guys that don't work their shoulders. They're so concerned with getting those washboard abs and all that kind of sort of vain nonsense. But shoulders are really fill out the shirt, and they're an important part of your strength program. But you have to be careful. It's a very complex joint, and it's very easy to injure. So what I'm going to tell you is the way to get the most bang for your buck. And that is, we talked about compound exercises. That's a multi-joint exercise. And working the shoulders, there is a multi-joint exercise, the overhead press, because you're going to use your shoulders, but also your chest, your upper chest, and your triceps as well. Now you have three main heads of the deltoid, which is your anterior, your posterior, and your medial or medium. So your anterior is your front, your middle is obviously the middle part, and the anterior, or posterior rather, is the back. And you have to work all three of those to get that fully rounded shoulder. And so I think the best way to do it is to incorporate a compound exercise and then isolation exercises for the smaller aspects. And that way you can avoid getting hurt, and you can get the most bang for your buck. So you'll start on your shoulders with shoulder presses, overhead shoulder presses. That you can load up the bar on, right? And you can really, really get some weight on there. And that's going to work that anterior head of the shoulder. So you're going to take the barbell and press it over the head and bring it down till the bar is touching your chest, and press it back up. And try not to bounce with your legs. Try to just use it with your shoulders, your chest, and your triceps. So that's the one where you're going to get the most weight out of. That's the one you're going to really build your strength with. The other two, you're going to be using the smaller head. So you're going to be doing, and it's an isolation exercise. So you're going to use a lighter weight. So for the middle part, and that's the cap. That's that cap. Like if you're looking at somebody straight forward on, and you see that cap, that's primarily the middle part of the deltoid. So the best thing to do for that are dumbbell raises. I like to do them seated, so you're not you don't have to, you're not going to swing as much, so you have more control. And again, you're using a light weight, and you're just going to bring the dumbbell out to your side like that, and you pretend you're pouring a cup of coffee. Let me see if I get my hand in here. So when you get it up, yeah, try this side here, might be better. Yeah. So when you get it up, you're going to turn it like that. Okay. So you're lifting it up and you turn it in. Okay. So that way you'll work that side aspect of your deltoid. Then for the anterior or the posterior one, you could do bent over raises. When you're doing bent over rows, you're using that backside. When you're doing pull-ups, you're also using that posterior head. But if you really want to isolate it, you take a light weight and you bend over and you just bring it out like that, and you're going to feel it right back here. You just bring it out and up on both sides and hold it at the top, and you'll get a really good burn back there, and that'll give you that nice rounded full deltoid. Let me see, a bunch of people have been chiming in here. Where did you say Eskimos get their vitamin C traditionally from? Well, the reality is they don't need the vitamin C. Vitamin C is only a function of carbohydrates. Eskimos don't eat vegetables. They don't get citrus. They eat fat and protein, and they have no problems with vitamin C issues. So again, they get it from the sun too. There's a certain amount that comes from the sun, and I'm sure there's plenty of sun down there as well as clouds in the snowy regions. But you don't need a lot of vitamin C in the absence of carbohydrates. Dan Genovese says he dislocated his shoulder twice. It wasn't fun. No, that would not be fun. J. Bama fan, in chair we trust, says he used to bench military, a 315 military press. Impressive. JP Roca, my wrestling coach only worked chest as a kid and blew out his shoulders. I don't remember the full details of the story, but he would always warn us to do well-rounded workouts. Yeah, if you overtrain anything, you're gonna ruin it. And as I said, the shoulder is a very complex joint, and once you damage that, boy, you're in for a world of hurt. So you want to be sure that you do all your exercises properly. My guess is he was probably doing a lot of really wide grip presses for his chest, and that puts a lot of strain on the shoulders. Richie Dupe, I remember these moves. Jay Bama says you can do face pulls as well. Yeah, if you have access to a cable machine, you can do face pulls for the posterior head of the deltoid. That's for sure. Okay. Jay also says for every push set, have a pull set. It depends on what you're doing. If you're isolating and you're just doing your shoulders, they're all pull sets. Well, that's not true. Actually, the anterior is a press, so that is a pushing one. So, okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? Anybody have any comments? Has everybody here signed up for Joe Frankenstein yet? As I twist this over to comics. Going to be launching March 1st, and it's going to be pretty darn amazing looking book. So sign up. That way you get the signed card. And everybody that signs up and when they order the book, your books will ship first. We talked about that. Julie and I talked about that anybody who signs up really needs some first-class service because they not only signed up, supported, but bought the book. So rather than breaking up into different types of perks, doesn't matter what perk you're getting. When you're a sign-up member, yours are the first ones to ship. Dan Genovese, I know you signed up. Much appreciated. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Well, in the absence of questions and dialogue, I guess we'll wrap this one up quick. So that's a great set of shoulder exercises. There's many others you can do, but they all do the same thing in the sense that you have to hit all three heads of the deltoid. Just remember, not to go too heavy on some of those isolation ones so you don't ruin yourself. But Dan wants to know, when am I expecting to ship? Joe Frankenstein is going to be down and dirty. So that I'm depending on the printer. My goal is to ship in beginning of June. So it'll be quick, and we're going to run the campaign through March. April, I'll get all the files together, and it could actually be May, depending on the printer, if the printer isn't backed up, and there's no, but I'm putting in the campaign June just to give myself a little extra wiggle room. And if it goes out in May, all the better. Everybody will be happy. All right, and you're going to want to read it because part 2 will be following it quickly thereafter. You want to read those before you read the Ghost of Matacumba Key. Just saying. All right, my friends. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope you have a good workout. If you unless you take the weekends off like I do. Keep your diet tight, and we'll see you back here on Monday. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.